welcome to I Love You Everyday Show, and this is organized by History Center here in Benin City, Nigeria. Alright guys, you know the topic before you, and it is a topic that is interesting, and I believe that you have experienced that before, whether you're married or you're not married. My name is Eugene, and I'm with Ify and Choice. Yes, we are here to discuss about long distance relationship. I've said that before, I'm saying it again. What we're discussing about it is becoming more and more, appearing among the youths, among, in our society. People are experiencing it because of the use of technology. But then let's explore as much as possible. We're not saying that long distance relationship is not necessary. We are also not saying that this thing, let's just do it. It's the main thing now because we have social media. You understand? So the first question for today, I'm going to throw this question to Ify, just to tell us what's the distance factor in all of this. Can we say in a city, are we saying countries, or what exactly is the distance factor here? How long is the distance and how short is the distance?
Thanks, Eugene. And what I would say about long distance relationship is, for us in Nigeria, I'm going to localize it.
Okay.
It's not really a good thing. I'm not a supporter of it. I'm going to stamp my foot here and say I'm not a good supporter or a great fan of it. Long distance relationship is one that separates the two spouses, the two partners involved, in which they may be in the same city or may not be able to see each other on daily basis or weekly basis, or they are practically living in two different cities.
Okay.
It's just a relationship in which the people involved are geographically separated, and that's what we define as a long distance relationship.
Okay.
So they may be in the same city but different parts.
Okay.
And because of the nature of their lives, career, work, and day-to-day activities, this may allow them not to see each other on the regular. Then they may live in different parts of the country in which work takes one out, or schooling. And in Nigeria today, I think long distance relationship is caused by schooling.
Okay.
Yeah, usually schooling, because when you're doing with his work, the guy finds a way to transfer himself or finds employment in the city of residence of the partner. Try to do that, but in most cases, it's usually schooling, and it affects us youth more than the elderly.
Okay, thank you so much, Ify, for coming through with that. You mentioned something about on a regular. Is there a principle? I'm going to throw this to you in a choice. Is there a rule that we should see always, and how often should we see if you're in a relationship? Because I'm trying to, pick from what you just said. It means that there is something we need to be doing. Yes, we need to be seeing often, right? So how often is that? So that will not eliminate the difference or eliminates what a long distance relationship is and what a normal relationship is. So let me hear from you, please.
Thank you. So I would love to say that for a long distance relationship, you're asking about a rule as to how often they should see.
Yes.
It should be on their timing, firstly, and how, people know how often they can meet. And then, you need to see this person from time to time, maybe every fortnight, or once a week, or twice a week, or as much as you want to, or as much as you both want to see yourselves. Maybe to talk, to see a movie, to go eat somewhere, to have games. But some persons are in such relationships that they can only meet maybe once in a long while, and then you have to meet at a restaurant because it's not even somewhere. You didn't meet the person in the area where you're staying. The person had to come from somewhere. You had to meet the person off in another place, and you can't be doing that all the time. And you might just not spend as much time as you would want to. So sometimes it's not always about the frequency even. It's about the duration of time that you spend. The time might be so little to feel like you did not really see them, to feel like a chat. So it's a normal, let me use the word normal from you. It's a normal relationship where you have as much time as you want to spend with that person when you have to. Thank you.
All right, I don't want to dig that hole because it's becoming a hole right now. Because some people have different perspective to how often they should see. Some
Yeah.
person will some ladies will complain to you that my guy doesn't have time for me, and they meet once in a week. Some persons will tell you we need to meet often. Like, I'm tired of this relationship. Why are we meeting often? So that's a big hole. But let's not create more holes on it. But then let's look at this hole. What are those holes? What are those loopholes we see that destroys long distance relationship, or that destroys a relationship in a long distance situation? Because for me, like I earlier said before we started, certain relationships, we can't say they are long distance relationship. We just say they are relationship in a long distance situation. So it's situational, not like from the day you met till now, people have not seen. It's long distance. Okay, that's possible as well, because we know persons who are dating people outside the country. Yeah. So from the day they met till today, 3 years, they have not seen. I don't know how to do it, but that's crazy, man. That's a high level of LDR. So what are those loopholes we should curtail? We should I don't want to say manage, but we should eliminate as well.
Okay. LDR is something that I already said I'm not a big fan of.
Okay.
Because of some factors. And these factors are real. I'm a realist, I'm not a pessimist if you see it from my point of view.
Yeah.
I'm realistic. In today's world, we have a situation which I'm a guy. So let me talk from a guy's
You are a
point of
male
view.
guy, actually.
Yeah. So we have the guy staying in, let's say, Benin, and the guy is in Lagos. And you have to wonder, she's pretty, she's beautiful, she's hardworking, and she dresses well. You need to see her skin color, and you need to talk with her, she's smart, and she's tall. Amen. So, and she's attractive, totally, and you have to imagine how many catcalls she gets per day, how many two-stars slide into her DM, and how many guys come to her and ask for her number, her friends that you beat to the punch when she wanted to make that choice or commitment, or how strong is her commitment. Yeah, and with the full knowledge that a person is not a person every day. It's not the same person every day. There is that evolution that happens. Because this is not the me of yesterday.
Yeah.
There is new information in my life that has changed me from the person that you talked to yesterday. And we have to consider those factors. And those factors come in and they strain. If the person involved, the two persons involved in the LDR are not mature enough, we're going to have issues, and somebody's going to start living a new life. Somebody's going to start living another life. And we start having, the technology is out there. We see every day, video calls, with chats, voice notes are sent, gifts, emojis are there to portray emotions, how I'm feeling. And there's a hug emoji that always touches me somewhere. I won't say where. And at the end of the day, these things can't take away the place of physical contact in a relationship. I'm going to stake my next month's salary on that. These things, no matter how much you see them, I'm doing that right now. These things, no matter how much gifts it sends, like me personally, gift is not one of my love languages.
Okay.
Send me the whole world and it won't make me love you anymore. Any much more than I do. What if you hold my hand and you tell me words of affirmation? Physical touch and words of affirmation, those are my love languages. And words of affirmation can be said over the phone, type over a text. But physical touch is something that I need. And if I can't have that, I'm going to feel a bit short-changed in the relationship. I'm going to feel a bit bad about it. So for me, I would want that touch as often that I can.
Okay.
And that's me. I'm able to survive and have this understanding that, oh, she's not around. Career is moving her. I have to work, find a way to work to get a job over there, or I have to find a way to get a job for her over here. So that I don't feel this bad, because I'm going to feel bad about it. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm going to feel bad if I don't have
The touch.
The touch. So, for her, if it's her,
Mm-hmm.
and gives her her love language, and we have guys giving her gifts over there, and I can't even give her a gift personally.
Yeah.
And there is this place of hugs, relationship. See, we can't shy. We can't just be shy about it. We can't be too Christian about it too.
Mm-hmm.
There's this place of sex for married people. You can't just have a newly wedded and the guy just jets up to the United States
Oh shit.
to get a job. And
Let's not play that in our minds.
so at the end of the day, this LDR is strange, tested,
Mm-hmm.
distorted, because it's no longer the regular,
Mm-hmm.
the everyday thing that is common in 80 to 90% of all other relationships. So LDR for me is for two matured minds that know what they want and are committed. During my internship in UBTH, I went to fellow pharmacist and we got talking, and she told me something that I don't forget anytime I think about it. Love is commitment. It's that commitment, and there's going to be a guy that is more handsome, richer, taller, fairer,
Mm-hmm.
dresses better, funnier than your guy. But that is where it doesn't have to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And for all humans, when you search for something, you're looking for iPhone 13. Then the iPhone 13 Pro Max comes up, you get it. Then iPhone 14 is coming out sometime next year or this year. And I'm going to want it more. Where love is divine, the divinity of love lies in when you step on the brakes, say, no, this is the person, that commitment. So that's what happens.
Mm.
And an immature man cannot do this. An immature mind cannot make that decision. At any point in time, an immature mind cannot make a make sense decision
Yeah.
on this is whom I want, and I don't have to cheat on the person. Because the rate of cheating is quite high, which leads to the increased
Yeah.
rate of divorce,
Yeah.
and that's what we have in today's world. So these loopholes have to be covered by a certainty and a maturity of mind, knowing that, oh, I wouldn't want to compromise what I have with this brother, no matter the distance. I wouldn't want to compromise what I have with this sister, no matter how far he is away. Yeah.
Wow. Guys, you need to know this as we go on. When you hear LDR, it is long distance relationship. Right? We don't want to call the full name. You just get it. Then when you hear the new life, I think Choice will help us with that chapter. When I heard it, just, my reaction was funny, but you need to know what's new, the new life. We got it on the show today. So Choice will brief us on what the new life is. And you kept saying, when you hold my hands. And I remember the song. When you hold my hands, everything becomes fun. Let's not get into music before everybody will start catching fire. So but then, the loopholes, not the potholes. Can we call it the potholes?
Yeah, that's it.
Anyone.
Yeah.
There are potholes in Nigeria, so many of them. I think that's why we have so many potholes in relationships.
Yeah,
I think so. So, but then you mentioned the issue of trust. I could get trust. Lack of trust, lack of commitments. Could be the possible reason why all of these cannot work. But then, like you said, it's also possible if you have two matured minds that are ready to be committed to it. On looking at on another maybe another way to look at this, we can also say that it is possible to have a long distance relationship. And I want Choice to just tell us a bit of what it means to be in a long distance relationship. Have you been in a long distance relationship before?
Yeah, I have.
Of course. So we can play around the game right now, right?
Yeah.
Just tell us a feel.
That's the first, sister.
I just need a finger touch on this.
Amen.
My God, you have had a touch, man. So let's get a touch from here.
Okay, so about long distance relationships, LDR. The thing is, it's about two people, basically, that are willing to work things out. We're not in the normal scenario where we can see every day. I can't always have access to you, but I'm willing to make this work. I know I'm here. I know I'm doing here. We both have agreed on why we are here, and we are willing to make it happen. So they communicate, they talk as much as they can. Text messages, we cry. Like both normal text messages, online text messages, like text messages to really cry because sometimes you just want to drop a message to make the person feel your presence.
Oh, wow.
It's not all the time. The person cannot always take a call, but then they can wake up to a message. They can just look in the afternoon and see a message, and there's this good feeling that comes with, okay, someone still has me at heart. Someone still holds me dear. Someone still thinks of me from time to time, as much as I cannot imagine, and like that. And then it's about two people that trust themselves too.
Could you go personal on this?
Okay.
Yes. How often do you see what are the metrics? Sorry, I say metrics. Sorry, parameters.
I started a relationship where I would see my boyfriend only in December.
Okay.
Only
Wow.
in December.
Hits me hard, man.
Yes. December is not every day in December. So when I say only in December, it's not like we still live in the same city. We could see only in December. So sometimes just, okay, I'm around. For how many days? Say, maybe 1 week, like 1 week. Okay. So just go. In fact, you boss be crying. Just burn transport in the morning. You go, you sit, you gist, you eat. You just talk and talk, make plans on some things. You go back. Another day again, you're doing that. And it felt, okay, at that time, it feels like compensation for all the long time you've not seen that person. So you just want to go early in the morning and just sit down and just gist. You live with your parents. Okay, I live with my parents. So I had to be back in the evening. And sometimes I'll get home around past 7. My sister will say, Trace, you started coming back in the night. The girl saying, I didn't even know when the time just. So like that. So it's all about both of you. You're willing to do this thing. You have plans towards it. Now, okay, can I see you today that you're around? I don't think I have the time. What of tomorrow? Maybe I will not have time. Truth is, at that point, the person is just feeling like it's even better you're in your far place. In fact, it's even better I don't talk to you. It's even, the next thing you see, the person is wishing they were not in that relationship. So it's all about having plans in place, committing yourself to them, and knowing what you want from it.
From your experience, okay, let me use the mic, sorry. From your experience, can you say that long distance relationship is a test of love and commitment? And then is it also a test of what's the word? Okay, let's not get involved with that. Is it a test of love and commitment? Let's just play around that.
Sure, it is. It's a test of love and commitment. Now you get someone that asks you, how would you say you have a boyfriend and you don't even see him, you don't even know what he's doing there? People like that line so much. You don't even know what he's doing there. You are just sitting here. I'm just sorry for you because the things will happen. Maybe then I would have gotten another person. Yes, it might be coming from a guy that is telling you he likes you, and then he's rubbing it on your face that I'm a man. I know how men feel. I know how it is. It's not something that is easy. And then within you are. It's this thing, but it's the trust you have. And sometimes you can ask questions. And at that point, I don't know, definitely there are persons in there, they are listening to this. I would want to advise that you don't get offended when the person starts coming with their worries or their questions. Sometimes there's pressure around them at that time. Then sometimes too, when they demand to talk with you for longer or you don't know the pressure around them. They could just tell you, and I don't know, there's plenty difference between male and female gender, but a lot of things that women take very seriously, many men take them lightly. They just feel it's not an issue to worry about. Say, is it not possible for us to be talking a little more? Say, but we are talking enough. Now, don't worry. You don't have to worry. She's under pressure where she is. There's somebody that is asking her for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. Anyone you have time for. Like, if you have time for the 3, let's go. If you, let's just, I know you don't want dinner, but let's just go pick up something somewhere. And she's like, no, I'm not up for it. And people tend to give into attention sometimes. So it's not left for that person to intentionally pull away from that place where you know, okay, this attention is getting too much. Is this what I want? If that is not what you want, pull out from that place and focus on where you know, like, you want to stay. Even if it's quite far.
It's alright. Thank you so much, Choice. You've done well to talk about really, really. Some people don't believe that long distance relationship is a true test of love and commitment. Actually, it could be a test, but for me, I don't think it's a true test because I don't know love. I don't know. Let's not get involved with that. But then let's talk about, as we round up, let's talk about God's perspective in all of this. We may not have a storyline in the Bible that talked about how two persons were in a relationship or got married. No, we may not have that. But I believe that God, sees these things and wants to say something about it. You get. So I want to hear from both ends, and we use that perspective to also end with the fact that this perspective God is bringing to us will help us manage long distance relationship. Like a movie I saw one of those days. What would Jesus do? You get. So what would Jesus do in a long distance relationship? I think I need to go deliberate on this. So these two persons who are married or in a relationship, the guy travels. Okay, he traveled for a year. Yes, I'm familiar with the offshore thing, so I'm going to use that for example because I've seen guys like that. Over a year, they are out of the country and they have gone for offshore. They are not around. You get. The last interaction I had, this guy was in a year in a boat for 1 year, and the wife called, "When are you coming back?" She was complaining bitterly. You understand? So in that situation, what would be the advice, coming from God's perspective? What would be the perspective of God in that situation? How do you manage it? Because the Bible said the two shall become one. You understand? But then let's speak from a relationship perspective as well. Let's see that from a relationship perspective. What's God saying about that? How do we, harmonize all of this? Briefly, please.
Okay, I believe in creating things. Like when two people come together for a relationship, I believe they're there for a purpose to create something larger than themselves.
Yes.
And the Bible says that he that putteth his hand on the plow and looked back is not fit for the kingdom. And we talk about relationship as a firm. The other day, and we created some perspective, one of which is people say communication is the key. But that's a half truth. That's a half truth. The truth is that understanding is the key. You can communicate all day and still lack understanding of one another's perspective. So when the two people in there have an understanding of what they want, they know that this guy is making money for this project, so he needs this time off to do what he has to do. Then you over there making the money have to understand that this lady needs you. And yes, you've been away for this long, and she needs to see you. She's under some pressures, and you have to understand those pressures as a mom. So this understanding has to be there. You have to understand the need for the guy to be away, and the guy has to understand the need for him to be around. So then they reach a powerful point. And when my point in matured minds, when somebody is not mature enough, he makes lots of mistakes.
True.
And one of the mistakes that we have in there is the mistake of looking outside, which is a new life, which is cheating. And at the end of the day, when we have that, it's rampant. I would say that because I have had a close friend or whatsoever would tell me that, and she had a guy abroad. I didn't know until I was a bit deep in there, and I had to walk out. I had to walk away, and it was not funny. But she had LDR, and she couldn't keep herself like mentally, and she was having fun for both sides. So at the end of the day, we should have that understanding that some people are not mature enough
to do that.
So when somebody is not whole or mature enough in Christ, I think they shouldn't bother about. Once the guy walks away, wants to travel to as far as Saple, they should break up. They should break up. Thank you.
Thank you. And this came to mind while you were talking. Our relationship with God, Alpha, how did distance be?
Should I answer? It's close. It's this close.
Actually.
Mine. God is in me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so close.
Okay, you think God is with you?
Yes, it's personal. He's not, he's in me. He's
Okay.
beside me right now and I can interact with him.
Okay.
But for a lady that is even in the other part of town, it may be difficult to know what's going on in her mind. And we can understand that love is more than just, hey, she's pretty. Oh, he has a good job. Oh, he's a pharmacist. Bright future. Sorry. So we should just take that off. It's a connection of mind, souls, and spirit.
Okay.
When that connection is there, then you can grow something beautiful.
Okay. So what do you think about your relationship with God? The distance.
Okay, I would say the relationship with God is close, and like we know.
And do you see God?
I'd say yes, no. Okay, from what we know, should I say over time we've come to trust God. But then human beings have that, like you cannot always know what they are up to. They could be this person today and another tomorrow. Like Dr. Ife said, the person he is now has changed from who he was yesterday because an extra information had been added. I read about a man that said he lived with his wife for a very long time, and to him, he has lived with 8 different persons. Because at 8 different times, he had seen a different person from the one he married.
That's true.
Like, she was not the same. There was no way you would say, this person is that same person of years ago, or, okay, after another 3 years, this person is still the same person. He has watched her grow into different versions of herself, where that could mean different persons. So if you don't trust her, she's there. You might start looking for the influences that she has that is making her change. You know, sometimes somebody just comes up with something that is supposed to be normal. They tell me normal, and they say, okay, maybe in a relationship, the woman just say, please, can you get my bag? And the man is like, where's that coming from? Who have you been listening to? Like, so the woman is something that is not absurd, but maybe because he had not had her say it before, he's like, are your friends influencing you? Are you? And it was a harmless statement. So sometimes it's always harder to trust people than to trust God. But then it depends on you and the person. If the person are not giving you any reason to lose trust for them, it's always easier to trust them and make something good work.
Wow. Something came to mind while you were talking as well. And the truth is, I think it takes God for you to love someone.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's not easy to be in a relationship with somebody who is far from you and trust that person, like you have said, over time. You need, as a guy, let me use a guy, I'm using a guy figure here because you are the one mostly giving, you're the one chasing, trying to get this girl to join you on this journey. So you might be the one to actually make sure that she's guided. That's the truth. You are the leader here. I don't know I'm facing you. I know I'm facing you, but I don't know who to face. You understand? So, but I believe that God needs to equip the man to be able to love the woman. Bible says, husbands, love your wife. So I'm just looking at it from God's perspective as I'm bringing all of this in.
Okay.
Because it's not really, really easy to say that I love somebody without an atom of God's love in your heart. It will be difficult.
It's hard.
It will be difficult because you keep seeing different things. Like you said, 8 different things in one person. And you're like, how do I cope with this? Like, it's crazy. But then, God gives you the strength. Just as when a lady will see some things in a man, and you can't even talk to the man about it because if you even try talk, now voila.
Okay.
What does she do? She goes to God. You know, and like I'm sure many of you have watched the War Room and you saw a reflection of that. So most of the time you need God to help you in certain situations in relationship. I know we have left Eddie Arrow somehow, but then I'm just trying to bring in the God factor into this so that we see that you that's in a relationship with God, you never see him really, but you know say God did. Because his mindset, his word is with you, all of those things are with you. So you can actually vouch to say that I know Jesus.
Okay.
You can go out there and praise Jesus. You get?
Okay.
So if we can bring all of those characters, all of those things in our relation with God into our relationship, that will help a lot. But then we cannot compare those relationships. We can't compare it because you're dealing with a spirit being and dealing with a human being actually. So guys, I think I've enjoyed this show, and we want to draw the curtain here because that curtain, my tissue. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. So my name is Eugene. I'm the anchor for I Love You Everyday show, and I want you to stay tuned for more content on this channel. All right, get involved with our YouTube channel. Subscribe, follow. Sorry, not follow. Sorry, follow is on Instagram. It's subscribe. That's what it means there. All right. So you can also like, and also, comment. Give us a comment on what you think is your perspective on LDR. I know that's your first time hearing that, but it's fine. I mean, LDR, not long-distance relationship. So you can start using the word LDR when you're talking, that kind of thing. Then the new life you get. We already mentioned it. So if you didn't hear it, go back to the video. Go back and listen to it. You will know what the new life is. It's a secret. Is it a guy code?
No,
it's not a guy code. It's not a guy code. So you can get it from the video. Alright guys, I see you and